Let's start. Hot take number one. Influencer is a fake career path. We've created a whole economy based on people being famous, just for the sole result of being famous. It is an entire industry built on filtered lies, rented Lamborghinis, and selling overpriced vitamins to teenagers. The moment the Wi-Fi goes out, 90% of these people have zero transferable skills. We are literally incentivizing a generation to value clout over actual talent or contribution to society, and the crash is going to be brutal. Ask yourself this question: what did the Kardashians ever do to help people? And I mean in a meaningful way. Kylie is a billionaire, yet she is just hoarding the money. For the most part, I agree with you. Yes, the majority of influencers, in the last maybe 10, 15 years, they're really not offering anything of value. But I also believe that this is essentially the cycle of life. It's gonna happen whether you like it or not. And the crash is definitely going to be brutal. Hot take number two. High schools should stop teaching calculus. I agree with you. Unless you're going into engineering, calculus is a waste of a teenager's brain power. We should be teaching adulting 101, how to do taxes, how credit card interest actually works, how to cook 3 healthy meals, and how to read a basic legal contract, how to communicate. Most adults can tell you what a derivative is, but have no idea how to change a tire or dispute a medical bill. And that is a massive failure of the system. Yes, 100%. 100. If I can say 1000%, I would, but it's just meaningless. So yeah, I agree with you. I genuinely believe that the system is designed to feed us stuff that holds no value in our lives. It's like we're basically like in a hamster wheel. They're giving us stuff that we're not gonna use for the most part in our life, or for the greatest part of our lives. Yet we do it and we don't really question it. Hot take number 3. Being busy is not a personality trait. We need to stop wearing burnout like a badge of honor. When you ask someone how they are and they say, so busy, been working on this thing for a long time, or I'm finalizing a deal a gazillion miles away, with a weird sense of pride. It is just sad. It is not an achievement to have no time for your friends, your family, or your own thoughts. Society has brainwashed us into thinking that if we are not constantly grinding, we are failing. But the truth is that busy is usually just a lack of boundaries. Okay, whoever said this hot take, I like you. I need you as a friend in my life, possibly in my businesses as well. I agree with you. So whenever I, watch an episode of Shark Tank on YouTube, or a short of Shark Tank on YouTube, and see these literal multi-billionaires still haggling a 20-year-old college student who's making a new brand of smoothie or a new type of hoodie. And that guy, Kevin O'Leary, he just starts cooking a horrible royalty clause where he's going to get $2 for 10 million units. I just get this feeling of unease. Like, brother, you're worth so much money that you will never, ever spend in 10 lifetimes. Why are you that competitive Why are you wasting your time doing this? That's what I think. But maybe it's like, maybe what you're saying is that busy is not a personality trait. Maybe it's like a mental disease, like a behavioral / mental disease that you somehow acquire once you start seeing 8 figures in your bank account. Maybe. I don't know. I don't have 8 figures in my bank account, so I can't say with certainty. Hot take number... You know what? I'm not going to keep numbering it. Next hot take, because I'm going to lose count. The 24-hour news cycle is ruining our mental health. Human beings were not evolved to process every single tragedy happening to 8 billion people simultaneously. We used to care about our neighbors. Now we're stressed about a local election 3 continents away, while our own backyard is a mess. It is not staying informed. It is a constant drip feed of cortisol designed to keep us clicking. Sometimes the most radical thing you can do for your own sanity is just to turn it off. 100% agree with you. So the price of being informed these days require you to live in panic and anxiety all the time, which is exactly what the quote unquote the elite want you to feel all the time. If you're always anxious, if you're always in a state of flight or fight, you will always be easily manipulated and easily controlled. That's what I think. Next hot take. Public transport should be free for everyone. We spend billions on highway maintenance and car-centric infrastructure that just creates more traffic and pollution. Our governments pay tens of millions to implement circumcision campaigns somewhere in the jungles of Africa. What government does that? I want to know. What government pays tens of millions of dollars to implement a circumcision campaign? Anyway, yet I still need to pay for all public transportations. If we made buses and trains high quality and completely free, cities would actually be livable again. The cost of making it free would be offset by the massive reduction in road wear, accidents, and environmental damage. We were too obsessed with personal responsibility to realize we're all just sitting in traffic together. 100% agree with you. This is not a hot take. That's what I think. But listen, man, or lady, I don't know. At the end of the day, this life isn't utopia. Humans are fueled by greed. Or let's not use the word fueled. Let's say they are sick by greed. The majority of us are incapable of prioritizing others' comfort when it means we're going to lose money or we're not going to make money. You know what? Since we're talking about utopia, I want to pitch this as my own hot take. So listen, one of my wildest imaginations or wildest hot takes that I have is to find some deserted land, like a piece of land somewhere in Iceland or maybe somewhere in Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe has a lot of ghost towns. So I need a piece of land like 100 or 200 square kilometers in size. Let's call the country Rovak. Yeah, why not? Where I will make my fellow Rovakians live a life where they're all comfortable and productive and protective of this country. I mean, sure, not everyone will be equal in wealth, That is a philosophical impossibility, but at least they will have a decent life where money is not an issue. And they can get yearly loans to pursue what they truly love. For example, you want to be a YouTuber, you want to travel the world, but you have no money for equipment, you have no money for travel. The country of Rovac got you. You work community service for 1 year, you be a good citizen, and you will have what you want. Even if you fail to be a YouTuber, you won't be punished. Our country, our country values ambitions and hard work. It doesn't value guaranteed success. I think that the hardest thing to make this country would be vetting people into it. Because if you take in people who don't believe in the values that the country of Rovac has, you will have a dysfunctional country. God, what a beautiful country. Imagine 10 years from now, just imagine, okay? 10 years from now, you decide to live in my country, in the country of Rovac, and someone on the internet asks you, where are you from? And you tell him with all the pride in the world that I am Rovacian. God, literal goosebumps right now. If I ever become like a billionaire, and not just any billionaire, no, Elon Musk type billionaire, I will make the country Rovac a real country. You have my word. Some of you right now are probably laughing at me, saying, this is the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard of. You know that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson meme? This is the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever seen. Yeah, I think this is what some of you might be saying. But hey, listen, it only sounds crazy as long as no one has done it before. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on, my fellow Rovacians. I think I've taken it upon myself to call you Rovacians. I like the name, Rovacians. Yeah. Okay, let me switch to another accent. I want to make this slightly more interesting. The next hot take. Smart appliances are completely useless. I don't need my fridge to tweet, and I definitely don't need my toaster to have a firmware update. Making every household object smart just adds 50 more points of failure to things that used to work or used to last for 30 years. Now, your washing machine stops working because the Wi-Fi is down, or the app is not compatible with the new iOS. It is planned obsolescence disguised as innovation, and it is creating a mountain of electronic waste. I 100% agree with you. So in some fields of life, you have to reject modernity and you have to embrace tradition. We have an old fridge from 1992. Yes, 1992. It still works perfectly. If you open the freezer, you'll see a big block of ice building there. Now, we had 3 of these new LED 1080p 3D fridges. They broke down in just the last 10 years or something. So 3 fridges broke down in 10 years, while that old fridge from 1992 still works. I agree with you. Next hot take. Small talk is a waste of human potential. How was the weather? Good. How's the coffee? Terrible. We spend half our lives stuck in these scripted NPC-style dialogues that mean absolutely nothing. I'm not saying we should share our deepest trauma with Jenny from Walmart, but we should be allowed to just exist in silence without it being awkward. We force these social rituals that drain our social battery for zero reward just to satisfy some weird, outdated politeness code. I 100% agree with you. Some in the comment section right now are probably disagreeing with me, but that's okay. I hate small talk. Back in my shitty job, where I worked like a horse for 9 hours, I hated small talk. A customer would tell me that his daughter is graduating in 2 months, and I'll just give him, "Oh, nice, congratulations, mate." But in my head, I'll just say, "I don't give a fuck, man. I don't care about you. I certainly do not care about your daughter. Just pay me, get your stuff, and go." I deal with 100 customers or maybe 200 customers every day. I don't have the energy to do that. The only customers that are treated as VIPs are the ones who are quiet and kept to themselves. I swear to you, when I see these customers show up, they are my top priority. Why? Because there is no small talk. I agree with you. Next hot take. Every movie is 30 minutes too long. The epic 3-hour runtime is the new plague of Hollywood. Most movies would be significantly better if an editor had the guts to cut them down to a tight 90 minutes. We've replaced tight pacing and good storytelling with endless CGI battles and world building that nobody asked for. If you can't tell your story in 2 hours, you are not being profound, you are just being self-indulgent. I 100% disagree with you for a very simple reason. I like Christopher Nolan. I like Alejandro González Iñárritu. I had to say it in this Spanish accent because it makes no sense for me to say his name in a British accent. So both of these guys, they are like one of the best or two of the best directors of all time. Christopher Nolan, Interstellar, Inception, Dunkirk, Tenet, the Batman trilogy, Dark Knight Rises trilogy. If he makes a film that is 6 hours long, it's perfect. It's not stretched out at all, but I think I understand your point, because 95% of other directors, yeah, it's a bit 30 minutes too long. So yeah, I think I agree with you. Yeah, mostly. Next hot take. Okay. LEDs are ruining the visual aesthetics of outdoor life. There is a specific soul-crushing trauma in watching your neighborhood get upgraded from those warm amber tungsten or sodium vapor glows to these surgical blinding white LEDs. It's like the city decided the outdoors should feel exactly like the inside of a Costco at 3 a.m. Hey bro, don't talk about Costco like this. I don't know if you tried Costco's rotisserie chicken, but these are goated, so I don't like the fact that you used Costco in a bad way. Yeah, let's go back to this. Those old orange lights didn't just illuminate the street, they created a mood. They felt like a warm hug for the neighborhood, making everything look cinematic and cozy, like you were living in a 90s indie movie. Now, everything just looks sterile and hostile. LEDs don't glow, they just pierce. They create these harsh, pitch black shadows where the light doesn't reach. They've basically nuked our circadian rhythm. Nothing says I'm definitely going to have a headache later quite like a street lamp that has the same color temperature as a dentist's office. We've traded the mystery and comfort of the night for the industrial efficiency of a high-security prison yard. And honestly, I would take a flickering orange-hued old-school street any day over this blue-white LED bullshit. I agree with you. 100% agree with you. My previous shitty job which I think this is the reason why my job was shitty, because everything was shitty about it. My old job had these neon lights, fluorescent lights. They were so bright, they were so piercing that every time I would go home, my eyes would be red. I talked to this old, I was gonna say a bad word, to this old person, that he should just change the lights and bring something warm, and his excuse was literally what's said in the story. He's telling me that if white lights or white LED lights are so bad, then why are they using them in companies and in hospitals? I said, man, who the hell wants to live in a freaking hospital? Who the hell wants to stay in a cubicle, office cubicle with a neon light? What an old piece of shit. Yeah. Let's move on. Let us move on. Next hot take. Spoilers don't actually ruin plots. If a movie or a book is ruined because you know the ending, it probably was not a very good story to begin with. A truly great piece of media is about the execution and the journey, not just the shock, not just the shock factor of a twist. In fact, studies show people often enjoy stories more when they know what's coming, because they can appreciate the foreshadowing and craft they would have missed out otherwise. Okay, respectfully, I disagree with you. I have no idea about these studies. I genuinely think you pulled them out of your shadow, because they don't exist. That's what I think. I have some anecdotal evidence for it. My favorite two films, they are Interstellar and The Revenant. In both of these films, I had zero idea what they were about, maybe aside from some context from the film poster. I never watched the trailer, never watched the teaser, nothing. Hell, I didn't even know the supporting actors. When I saw Tom Hardy in The Revenant, I didn't know he was going to be there. When I watched Anne Hathaway, by the way, Anne Hathaway is arguably one of the most beautiful women in the world. Actually, not arguably. Actually, arguably. Let's put arguably, because I can think of other women as well. But yeah, I didn't even know that Anne Hathaway is there. It's like a beautiful surprise. Okay, I think that was the last hot take, my fellow Ravakians or Ravakians. We finished our hot takes. Now let us pick some Am I the A-hole? Alright, story number 1. Back in 2023, I dated a guy who wanted to borrow my car on a 4-hour trip. I told him no, thinking it wouldn't be allowed since my insurance only covers me. I didn't know at the time that under permissive use that he could have borrowed the car at that time. He's a good driver, however, he does tend to drive fast and was hesitant about that as well. Anyways, on the way there, he got into a car accident while riding his motorcycle. It turns out it seemed he followed too closely. He says otherwise. Till this day, he blames me for the accident that he had and says, if I would have allowed him to use the car, he wouldn't be in that mess. I said, riding a motorcycle is a ticking time bomb, meaning they are death traps. And since her rides, what? And since he rides them all the time, it's a risk. He states that I could have prevented it. Out of guilt, I've helped him with the money issues, food, and other supplies, and he said basically, I basically owe it to him. He says I'm the jerk and was the worst girlfriend ever and unthankful for me. And unthankful for me helping him because he said I'm the reason why he's disabled. Am I the jerk or not? Okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second here. Mate, if you get into a a road accident, it's your fault. It's not anyone else's fault. Maybe it's the fault of the guy that hit you, possibly. Maybe it's the fault of, an animal that got in your way. But it's 100% not the fault of this woman, of your girlfriend. You just guilt tripping her for absolutely no reason. Hell, imagine she gave you the car. Imagine instead of going on your motorcycle, you might have been going 80 kilometers an hour or 70 kilometers an hour. If she gave you the car, you might have been 150 kilometers an hour, and you've also could have had a car accident that could have been much, much worse. Yeah. Lady, you're not the a-hole here. He is definitely toxic. And the part where he says that you owe him and that he's unthankful for you because now he's disabled because of you, bro, get an Uber, get a taxi. The hell are you talking about? Story number 2. Am I the a-hole? Okay. Honestly, maybe I'm vindictive like my family says. My sister, 35F, and I, 32F, have always had a rocky relationship. 8 years ago, she slept with my fiancé. Obviously, the wedding was cancelled. It destroyed me. I cut her off completely. But then 2 years later, our mum got diagnosed with terminal cancer. Mum's only dying wish was to have her girls together again. She literally begged me on her hospital bed. So I did it. I reached out to my sister and told her I forgave her. For 6 years, I sat at family dinners. I bought her birthday gifts. I even threw her a baby shower. I smiled and hugged her. It got easier once I realized I just literally felt nothing for her. She was just a co-worker in the job of keeping my mum happy. I was wearing these awful cheap black flats that kept digging into my heels the day I decided I would just fake it till the end. Well, Mom passed away last month. I am so sorry for that. It was devastating. The day after the funeral, we were at Mum's house, cleaning things out. I handed my sister a letter I had written, grabbed my boxes and told her to never contact me again. I said my duty as a sister died with Mum. She started sobbing hysterically in the driveway. Now my aunts and uncles are calling me, saying I'm a monster. My sister says she spent the last 6 years thinking we had healed our trauma and that I completely deceived her. She said she went to therapy and cried over our renewed bond, and now it feels like her whole life is a lie. I feel a little guilty because she looks so broken now, but I don't know. I just gave my mum peace. I don't see why I owe my sister anything real. Am I crazy for this? No, you're not crazy for this. You're not the a-hole for this. This is what I think. So, in my book, in my understanding, cheating is not something to be forgiven. Because it means that you really have no respect. You have no respect for the other person. You have definitely no respect for yourself. You have no dignity for yourself. And to do it to your own sister is just utterly repulsive. Here's what I think about you. I think you did the right thing by letting your mum feel happy in her last years on this planet. I feel like I've been a good daughter. You listen to your mum. Obviously, it is your right. It is 100% your right to cut off your sister. Because, like I said, this is not something that can be easily forgiven. Next story. Am I the a-hole for breaking up with this guy? We weren't even dating. but he thought we were. Therefore, the breaking up. We've been on 6 dates and have been talking for a little over 4 months. And he recently invited me to his house for dinner the first time. We were sitting at the counter and he asked me who I voted for. Okay. I've always been raised to never ask about politics. So I was a little thrown off guard, you know. I started laughing, sort of, awkwardly, and told him who I voted for. And he made this disgusted face and started laughing at me. I was so confused because I asked him what was so funny, and he told me, so you don't want to make America great again. But laughing at me in a condescending way. Now listen, I do not care who people vote for, but they think or what they think politically or anything. But as long as you're the same towards people who don't think the same, I got up and told him kindly that us not thinking the same happens. Not everyone has the same values or ideas. But then he got up too and went on and on and on about how his political views were better and were to make the world better. But all in a condescending, making me look dumb way. I didn't like the fact that he turned that way when he realized we didn't think the same. So I left. It's been 4 days. He hasn't texted yet. But I shot him a quick text telling him that maybe it's best we both go on our own ways. So, am I the a-hole for stopping whatever was going on? You're not. You're not the a-hole. Hell no. If you got that explosive, that inflammatory over a stupid thing like elections and votings, when we know for a fact that the majority of elections, the majority of votings are being lobbied by certain individuals, by certain parties, so that they have more influence on the people of that government, on people of that country. So if he was that mad about a stupid thing, I can only imagine how mad he's gonna be when it's something more important than this. You lady are not the a-hole. Next story. Am I the a-hole for buying the wrong kind of lemonade for my wife? Okay. Earlier today I was doing some grocery shopping. We were running low on several things, including lemonade. My wife typically drinks water, but lately during some meals she drinks lemonade. Personally, I cannot stand that stuff and think of it as a child's drink. Well, she put it on a shopping list as strawberry lemonade. But when I go to that part of the store, I was overwhelmed by the number of varieties. There are legitimately had to be 10 different kinds. I ultimately picked pink lemonade, which I assumed was basically the same thing. But boy, was I wrong. When I got home, my wife was helping me unload the groceries, and she noticed the lemonade that I bought. She said that she didn't like this kind and asked me why I didn't buy the kind she wrote down. I told her that I'm not an expert in lemonade and that it was ridiculous for a grown woman to be drinking this stuff anyway. She went absolutely nuts. She said that her beverage choices were hers and hers alone, and that I should have paid closer attention to what I was buying. I was completely baffled by her at this point and said, "It's a diabetes in a bottle either way." She had sort of a shocked look on her face and has been avoiding me ever since. She wouldn't even eat dinner with me, which is surprising because I made my signature recipe of baked ziti. Bro, I don't give a fuck about your signature recipe of baked ziti. I try my hardest to be patient with her, but I can remember being 4 and throwing a tantrum because my dad took me to Burger King instead of McDonald's. This is equally ridiculous to me. I just hope that she will cool off and stop treating me like this tomorrow. But who can say for sure anyway? I'm wondering what your opinions are. Part of me thinks I should just give in and buy her preferred flavor of sugar water on the way home from work tomorrow to stop all this drama. Anyway, what do you all think? Man, I have no idea if this is a rage bait or if you just built this way. Brother, who the hell told you that lemonade is a child's drink? I drink lemonade. I'm 26. I make my own lemonade and I drink it. So why the hell are you saying it's a child's drink? It's a diabetes in a bottle. You think Pepsi is water in a bottle? You think Mountain Dew is water in a bottle? Everything is a diabetes in a bottle, man. Everything. And you saying that she wouldn't even eat dinner with me, which is surprising because I made my signature recipe. I don't care. If she wants strawberry lemonade, you get her a strawberry lemonade. By the way, this is something that I just remembered. You said that you were overwhelmed and you bought pink lemonade. You said that she put it on the shopping list as strawberry lemonade. And you said you were overwhelmed. Mate, if you were overwhelmed by freaking lemonade in a grocery store, I don't think you're fit to handle serious things. Man, I think these stories are gonna get my blood pressure through the roof. Yeah, calm down, mate. Calm down. Calm down. Okay. I think this is probably the last story. Gonna have to wrap this up. I plan to make like a huge video. I'm talking like 3 hours long video. But the reason I'm not making it yet is because as of today, as of right now, I have 0 subscribers. So for me to actually spend 4 hours making a video, it's a very daunting task. Don't get me wrong, I love doing this. This is like the 5th video and I still have 0 subscribers. I don't care. I love doing this. But here's the thing. If I reach 10,000 subs by early of July, you have my word, I will make a 4-hour long video of nothing but am I the a-hole? Hot takes. I'm gonna need some water around me. I'm gonna need some sugary drinks, preferably strawberry lemonade, because when you talk for 4 hours, your blood sugar is definitely gonna drop. Anyway, last story before I wrap this up. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my boyfriend give a girl a ride home? Context. Boyfriend and I have been together for a year and a half. Also, we have a child together. We had some rocky months when I found stuff on his phone he should not have. What kind of stuff exactly? Well, last weekend we were out having a family adventure and he got a random message. He was texting back and forth with this person and then says, "Hey, I have a question." He explains that this girl he used to be friends with asked if he could bring her home from work. This girl wanted him to drive 45 minutes from where we live to her work, then 1 hour and 11 minutes from her work to where she lived. We then live 40 minutes from where she lives. This drive would have taken 2 hours and 30 minutes in total. She did offer gas money, but she never said how much. Also, she got off work at 10:30 p.m. I said, hell no. I have no idea who she is, so she's not important, like she's not on any of his socials as a friend, and message on Facebook. Also, she's not in his contacts. Then he explains she is looked at like a sister to his ex. Yeah, it's not helping your case. Also, he admits he used to like her. You have me drive at night, but you want to do this long drive for a girl that no longer talks to you. Oh, and did I also mention they have not talked in 4 years? Am I the a-hole? Listen, lady, everything about this story is fishy. Everything is suspicious. They haven't talked in 4 years. He's gonna take her, he's gonna drive her home at 10:30 p.m. It's a 2-hour long drive. If this happens, it's not gonna be a 2 hours and 30 minutes drive. It's gonna be like 5 hours, and he's gonna give you excuses about how there was traffic and they had to catch up, and she invited him for a pizza, and things got this and things got that. You're not the a-hole. Very simple story. I thought it's gonna take so much time to talk about this. Fortunately, it didn't. Okay. This is it. Thank you so much for listening to this to the end, my fellow Rovakians. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Please take care of yourselves. Good night.